Millwall interview.
This is a live video with Zach and
TT.
reviewing the season that's just been the mammoth year-long bonanza that we just had. Just got to wipe myself. I've been painting fences all day trying to watch the cricket, which we just won, funny enough. So we're going to be discussing a few bits. We're going to be talking about our game of the season, and we're going to break down every player, break down their performances, how they got on. If there are people joining, which there are at the moment, then put your comments in, and we'll try to read them and get through them. But yeah, we've got a few people joining. So
Yeah. It's always good. It's always good to see.
So what have you been doing since the end of the season?
Sometimes I've been on video games. Sometimes I've been playing with my friends.
Yeah.
And we've been going to Lions training, which has been really fun. I went to Chelsea Soccer School this week, so that was fun as well.
Hello, Rob. Thanks very much. He's got the first comment.
Yeah.
You've also been doing a lot of Lions. We had our first friendly on the Wednesday.
Yeah, that was really fun. Tomorrow we're having our first proper match.
Where do we think we'll finish next season?
In the Premier League.
So top 6 finish from the Zackster. He thinks we're going to finish top 6. So that'll be. Thanks very much for the whole City fan. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to do a championship review after this one. Not today, but probably Tuesday at about 6:30. We're going to do another video where we're going to break down every championship team, talk a little bit about them, and obviously we're going to break down that happen. So if you asked me to rate the season for Millwall, I think we'd probably easily give it a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
We, with the manager change, we started off at Preston, the 1-0 victory at Preston, which seems like an awful long time to go. I'll come on to the Troy Parrott signing.
Yeah.
But I felt that we started all right, and then we kind of dropped off. We had some really good results, beat Sheffield Wednesday at home, and then obviously probably the worst game of the season in August, where we lost 4-0 away to Fulham, kind of really of a drab affair, and we didn't put any kind of performance in. We allowed them to have too much possession, and from then on, it was kind of a little bit tougher for Neil Harris to get the boys going. And the low light being the Luton match, where we just, the first half of that game was absolutely atrocious, and he was booed off. Obviously, Harris got quite a lot, and the change was needed, and in come Gary Rowett.
Yeah.
What do you think of the managerial change and how it went?
Oh, by the way, sorry, because I have hay fever and I'll be wiping my nose a little bit. But Gary Rowett, probably one of the greater managers in a few years. So thank you to Gary Rowett for joining Millwall and just letting us play how we want to play. So yeah, it's been good this season with Gary Rowett, and Neil Harris starting off well too. So
I think Rowett, and like I said, we're going to break down the players now. And what Rowett's done is he's got the best out of players that weren't really playing at their highest level under Neil. So if I might as well start with in goal, and we'll start with our player of the season. Player of the season by a long way was Bartosz Biliakowski for me. If you're rating out of 10, 100% he gets player of the season for me. He saves us in games. We had a lot of close games this year. In fact, we were out of very few of them, so we were always in with a chance of winning, and a lot of that's down to Bart and the defence in front of him. But for me, what an absolutely cracking signing he's been. Definitely strengthened our side and has made us the solid outfit that we are. What do you think about Bart?
Oh, by far one of the best keepers in a few years for Millwall. And he isn't actually my player of the season, but when we rate him, I'll tell you who it is. But 10 out of 10 for Bart as well, because he's been like a rock.
Yeah, unbelievable. And he obviously did. He obviously did get the goal at the most amount of clean sheets with David Raya, who had an absolute mare in the Championship playoff final. But yeah, so now we'll move on to the right back, right wing back was Marlon Romeo, and I thought that he probably was the most improved player of the season. There was excellent, and we'll go on to each one of them. But I thought Marlon Romeo comfortably got a 9 out of 10. I thought him going forward was far better. He was far more involved when we had 3 centre backs. was able to link the play very well. I felt that his defensively got more confident throughout the season, and definitely became one of our. I agree. Hyperactive. I think he is very underrated, and he, he's one player that I think could go to the Premiership and hopefully he does that with us. But he's definitely got that quality about him, and something that not all right wing backs for me, he's one of the best right wing backs in the league, and I don't say that lightly. What about you, Zach?
Romeo, he's too quick. He is too quick, and when you see that quick of a player running at you, what do? You poo your pants and run away from him, because he is an amazing player, and he is so underrated. So, round of applause to Marlon Romeo for this. For this year. Yeah, for this year.
So then we move on to the ever-present, the player that played every single minute, the man mountain, Jake Cooper, who adds, going forward, actually, because we've been playing with the three centre-backs and Gary's wanted them to get forward. In the last part of the season, he really was one of our most attacking threats going forward. He really did. He scored a cracking goal at Charlton. He linked the play really well up in the final third, and that's what we're going to have to do moving forward. And I thought Jake Cooper, so solid, so dependable, very few yellow cards, is very rarely out of position. Yes, obviously he still needs to work on his delivery and his thing at the back, but for me, comfortably get an 8 out of 10 for Jake. What would you give him as a rating?
Oh, that's just because of the effort of playing every single minute. I'll give him a 9 because it's just
fair enough.
How do you not give someone at least a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 if they play every single minute of the season and have played well every single minute?
And 2 years in a row he's done that.
Yeah,
he's played every single minute in 2 seasons. We'll go on to Sean Hutchinson, who again is one of the most underrated players in the Championship as far as I'm concerned. Always seems to get into the Championship team of the week, which, based on stats. So he was Hyper's tip player of the season. Very, very dependable, Hutchinson. A lot of you have known it, if watched my channel, mine and Zach's channel for a long time, will know that I've really rated Hutch since he's come in.
Dad absolutely loves
I know.
Hutchinson.
I've got a bit of a love affair with Hutch, but I just think he's so reliable, so dependable. He does tend to passing is probably his weakest aspect of his game now in the 3 centre back role. But having the 3 centre backs has definitely allowed him to. I think he just feels like he's got more time. He's able to attack the ball really well, and that's something that Hutchinson does so well. He intercepts the ball, gets in front of the attacking player, and then clears the ball. And occasionally he's going to get that wrong, but he can afford to get it wrong when he's got more cover with Pearce and Cooper behind him, and I think he's done really well with that. Well, so for me, Hutchinson also gets an 8 out of 10. For you, Zach?
I would give him a 7 out of 10 because he's made he hasn't made so many mistakes, but he's made quite a few mistakes this season. So I'll rate him a little bit lower than you and give him 7.
So the comment was about he's not too bad going forward as well, and I agree he's not too bad going forward, but Cooper's been far more threatening. Yeah. We'll move on to the Clapmeister, the old Mr. Pearce, the Captain Bonanza, and I think he's given so much to the squad. More importantly, what he does off the pitch with the players in the dressing room, I just know that he's a leader. He's someone that has taken hold of that dressing room and really drives them on, and he's passionate and gets our fan base, which not every player does. And I think that on the pitch, occasionally he's a little bit slow. His legs are getting a bit old, but I think he's been very reliable and an excellent addition for the team. And
because his captain, he's urging the players on to be stars as well.
His leadership skills, for me, it gets a 7 out of 10. I don't think he was a standout performance, and obviously played a lot from the bench. But in terms of his leadership, definitely 7 out of 10. What would you give him? Quick rating?
I'll give him a 7 out of 10 just because his leadership has taken over Millwall. Yeah, he has. He has, quite rightly with the comment there, he has made our defence more stable. Then we move on to the left wing back. The absolute,
Murray Wallacinho, I think we need to call him, because another really underrated player in our squad. Someone that is playing out of position all the time. You want to look at it and you think he's playing left wing back a lot of instead of the centre back position that he could play in, and he's just really come on this season. Going forward has looked really, really excellent. The amount of times where I expect him to get done for pace and he just doesn't get done for pace because he uses his strength really well. Something
he
that
just makes himself really big.
Positional.
When he's trying to go past him, he's too slow. So the player tries to get past him, but he makes his body big so he can stop the player.
Yeah, he does. And what I'm talking in terms of how I train my boys at the moment, we're working on defensive positioning and how the players and I think how he sets his body out really plays to his strengths and he allows him to muscle out the wingers that are 10 times quicker than him, and he uses his skill. For me, Murray Wallace gets an 8 out of 10. For you, Zach?
8 out of 10, and yeah, I think you should show the boys one a picture of Murray Wallace trying to do the defensive stance.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think a good idea. I don't often use Millwall references. I normally use Barcelona, but I might need to use, in terms of defensive positioning, I might use Murray Wallace for my lines the next time we do the defensive workout. Now we move on to the centre of midfield. The first one I'll talk about is Sean Williams, who's getting on in age. Someone for me that's a very frustrating player, but I actually felt that when he played alongside Woods, it allowed him to come on a lot more. It allowed him a little bit more freedom. What he has in abundance is composure. Sometimes too much. Sometimes he takes his time and gets caught on the ball, but for me, he's not attacking enough. So the negative side of him is he doesn't look to play the ball forward. When he gets the ball, he tends to wall pass it back to the defence, and I want him to turn on the ball. But what he does really well is when he does find the pass, he's so accurate. He's so it slows the play down.
Dead shot.
Yeah, it is dead shot and he has the ability to control games and I think again someone that has come on under Gary Rowett and really stepped up at another level. For me, he's only going to get 6 out of 10 because I can't afford to. I can't see how. I think other players in that position have played better than him. But he's someone that you can rely on every week to put in a decent performance. So what would you give him quick?
Gary Rowett's giving him a good influence, but it's still a 6 out of 10 because of his performance in the earlier matches of this season.
Now we'll move on to Ryan Woods, who has been absolutely a revelation in midfield. The Ginger Ninja has been. Sometimes you get loan players in or players in for a season and they don't quite fit into the squad. They don't quite gel. Well, we've had 2 central midfielders in Woods and Malumbe that have just flown in the team, and it's been so great. Sorry, am I keeping you up? So great to see. What Woods the opposite to Williams is that the amount of times that he receives the ball under pressure, a little bit Xavi-esque or Iniesta. He's got players pushing on him, but he's able to squirm out of it and play the ball around them. What he's excellent at is his balls in the final third are next level. We've not had that. In fact, very few English players have that ability to find someone in space, find the amount of times finding Wallace in a channel or getting that bit of quality in the final third, and that's what Woods does. I'd have him further up the pitch and allow someone else to do more of the donkey work in the midfield, because I think he's a player that can completely control the game. And what an absolute great signing that is to get him on loan for another season and potentially
that's brilliant.
Brilliant. So what would you rate him out of 10?
I'll rate him an 8, and that was a really good comment by Hyper as well. The best passer in the league. He's getting there. I think he's still young and he can learn a lot more, but he's getting to be one of the greatest dribblers in the league as well. So.
Yeah, he's really good on the ball. Thank you, George. It's great to see you. Thanks very much for loving the content. We'll say it now. It's great to interact with you guys. It's great to be able to have the ability to talk to each other, to communicate, because we love our club.
Millwall fans for life.
Well, always Millwall fans for life. But it's something special for us. And even though we didn't get to finish the season how we wanted to, and we just finished outside the playoffs. And we didn't have fans there.
Yeah, that was unlucky. How just literally.
We'll go more into that in a little bit. But thank you. If you could drop a like on the video when you get a chance. But we'll now move on to, we've got 3 more midfielders to go. We've got Leonard, Malumbe, and Billy Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
quickly, I thought Leonard stepped up after again Gary Rowett coming in. I thought that he was a player that looks kind of deadbeat under Harris. Really not liked by our fan base, actually, Leonard.
He didn't get to play either. He was just like one of them bench players that Harris just said, "You're not coming on today.
Yeah.
Just you being on the bench."
I don't know. I think Harris actually liked him. I thought because obviously he got on well with him at Southend,
Yeah.
and Leonard was Southend, through and through, and that was excellent there. So I thought he was the most improved player, and it's hard to argue with that because he really did step up. He looked. Some of the goals he scored.
Oh yeah, that the
What was
one
it?
at the end of the season.
Was that your goal of the season?
Yeah, my goal of the season. He just banged it, and how did it go in the top corner?
I know, what an absolute goal. To beat Hull only 1-0 was a bit of a travesty considering how bad they were playing. But we deserved the 3 points up there, and what a goal to win any game. But I thought he was excellent throughout the second part of the season, especially. Played in different roles, played a bit of right back, played a bit in central midfield, played a central attacking midfield and just behind the striker. And that's what you want from players, to have that ability to play in different positions. You're all right. He went rowing with his sister today. I think he's absolutely knackered him out. And he had football training this morning.
True.
But for me, Leonard gets a 7 out of 10. Zach?
He didn't play that much, so I'll give him a 7 too. But
Okay.
I thought his throw-ins, a few seasons ago, why doesn't he take throw-ins? His throw-ins go like halfway into the box, and he's over there.
Yeah, maybe something we need to work more on. Now we move to probably the best central midfielder other than Woods for this season, Jason Mulumbe. A great loan signing. It would be great to get him back on loan. Someone that determination, desire of the lads. He's definitely going to play at the top level at some stage. For me, the fact that Brighton have signed Adam Lallana, the fact that now they can only make 3 subs in games, there's a chance we could get him back. I think if he had a choice out of Championship clubs, I think he'd choose to come back to us because I know he gets on really well with the players, and I know that obviously he loved the fans behind him. It's a club made for him. I just remember more than anything this season, the run he made at Leeds at home, where he's chased the 3 players, gets the block on from the defender, and the ball dropped to Aidan who finished it, and we beat Leeds in that game because of just because it's someone you just want someone to work hard, and Millwall fans, we really want that. We want the player to just give it all, and he's like
he does play with
so much passion, and that's what we want because that's what we are. We are a passionate club, and I think he's been absolutely excellent, and would be great to get him again. It's a shame to see him to leave the club, but for me, Mulumbe gets an 8 out of 10. For you,
Player of the season.
Well, it's your player. He's dropped player of the season for Jason Mulumbe.
Because
his boyfriend?
No, but he is so good at passing, dribbling, and Brighton give him to us.
Yeah,
he's
and again, he's another player that receives the ball on the half turn so well. It's something
just like
opens the gate, brings us into an attacking position, and he's someone that's really, really, like I said, he got better as the season. Why he weren't starting at the start of the season under Harris, I have absolutely no idea. But when he did come in, he made that position his own.
And Harris was like, wow, he's actually a good player.
Yeah, no, and then Harris obviously left. And then we'll move on to the youngster, the young player of the season for the club. Yeah, so calm and composed. And I do think Troy Parrott and Jason would work well together. But we'll talk about Troy after we've done each of the individual players. But now we'll talk about the player of the Junior Lions. I think he was junior. No, he weren't. He was the junior player of the season, the young players player of the season. Billy Mitchell. So for me, I was a little bit disappointed he didn't get more game time, but he does the right things. What he does amazingly well is train hard, because all you hear Gary Rowett says is he makes me have to make a decision. He's always putting in performances in training.
He tried him out of right back, and he's better than he is in his normal position. And when I see him on the ball, I think of Messi. I think of a little Messi.
Oh, go away!
I think of a little Messi.
Go away about little Messi.
No, I once saw him do a run down the line, and he beat 2 players, and it was amazing. Little Messi.
You have to ask him for his phone number and marry him or something. Jesus Christ, little Messi, Billy Mitchell. To be fair, I think he's been excellent coming into the team. I thought that the ability that he had running down the wing, when he played right wing back, every time he came on, he done well. Every time he came on, he made a difference, and he brought energy, and he's definitely one for the future. I want to see him getting more game time next season, but for me, it's hard to give him a rating out of 10 because he didn't play that much. But being in and around the squad, he's a cheeky chappy, bright blonde hair, and he's going to be noticed. And I just remember seeing him at the Tottenham youth game, and I knew then that he was going to come in to break into the side and make a difference, and that's what he has done. Sometimes you get them right, sometimes you don't. But for me, an easy 7 out of 10 for Billy. What are you going to give Billy?
I'll give him a 7 out of 10 too. He didn't play too much, but when he was on the pitch, he played well. So yeah, 7.
7 out of 10. So now we move on to Shane Ferguson. You know, Shane Ferguson, the game I can really remember him absolutely dominating, and what he's brought to the side is his determination. 2, he's really skillful. His skill on the ball is underrated. The amount of times he drops a shoulder and sends the defender for a hot dog.
Oh,
but his crossing, his distribution,
well,
but his distribution is absolutely superb, Fergie. And you know, he's a player that is just probably, he's like 12th man, Fergie. He's someone that you probably want in the starting lineup. You'd probably want Mahoney to step up and take that position his own. And because we need really pace if we're playing with one striker, we need pace either side of him. But when he does play, he plays well. You know, I don't ever remember going, Fergie was crap today. I don't ever remember saying it. You might have said he might have been a bit anonymous, but he doesn't make mistakes, and his delivery is absolutely superb. And like I said, the Forest game, he gave us so much balance on that left wing. And for me, that was my game of the season this year. Was the Forest away? You know, it's a shame that we had to end it on that. And loved working at Millwall. Had a good spot right next to. But for me, Fergie was he just run that day. He was absolutely superb. And you know, by far my best game of the season. I'd lost my voice. It's such a shame that it's the last away game we went to. But you know, if you think about it, if you're going to end on one, and anything happened to me since then, and that was the last away game I saw. Yeah. That was a brilliant game to watch, and I really enjoyed it with Layla.
I was at home chilling out watching it, and I remember just seeing the goals and Matt Smith getting his hat trick, and the 3 goals were amazing. So yeah,
so Fergie, 7 out of 10 for me. Comfortable performance for him. Performances.
I loved his free. Was it his free kick at Hull?
No, well, the one at Barnsley where he on the underside of the bar.
That was unlucky.
That goes in, and we make the playoffs. That's how tight it was at the end. Yeah.
Was it actually?
Yeah, it would have been that close. So if that goes in, and Barnsley would have went down, and Charlton would have stayed up. So it swings and roundabouts. And then we'll move on to Jedwardo Wallace. So, you know, probably wasn't at his best after the lockdown, and he gets, you know. Some people talked at the start of the season about putting a Skalakin in front of him. I heard about what's it called, but and then obviously weren't. I think he was carrying a little bit of an injury after lockdown, but the rest of the time in between it was absolutely superb. You know, you don't get 14 assists and 10 goals, and one of the players of the season in the Championship should have got Team of the Year in FIFA without a doubt.
Why don't Millwall players get Team of the Seasons in FIFA?
They don't.
EA, if you're watching this, give Millwall a Team of the Season.
Next year. Well, yeah, they ain't going to do it this year. All right, I don't think they're watching it, but if they are. But for me, Jed is that spark going forward. Jed is his determination. No, I don't think Jed will leave this season. I really hope.
No way. Jed Wallace is a Millwall player.
I think that the close season, I think we're going to try and hold on to everybody. I think we're going to try and keep the squad we have with the few additions that we're going to make. But for me, Jed Wallace he excites me. When he's on the ball, he excites me. When he puts the ball down to take a set piece, he excites me. He's a player that you love to watch. You know, he's a nice bloke. You know, you meet him, how he was with you. And
the Junior Lions Christmas party that we went to, you were talking to him for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
He's got time for people, and not everybody has that. And that's no disrespect to any of the other players, because you know, it takes. Yeah, they have a lot of people asking for their time, but Jed is happy to talk. He's happy to speak about it, and for me, he's just other than maybe a couple of the top level, like Mateus Pereira right wing, and maybe Ben Rama at Brentford.
But Mateus Pereira is a diver.
He is, but
we'll
go to our Championship review on Tuesday at 6:30 again. We're going to do the Championship review, but I think he's the 3rd best right wing in the league. So was one of the best players of the season. Should have got Team of the Season. He should have got Team of the Season.
Yeah, he should have.
He should have. 100% he should have.
Bortos should have got Team of the Season
For me, 9 out of 10 for Jed Wallace. What were you going to give him?
I would say 9 out of 10, and he's just his set pieces weren't great, but sometimes they were just right in there. And
Yeah.
his dribbling is just like the defenders are scared because he does rainbow flicks sometimes as which is scary.
Like I said, he's exciting.
It's scary to see a defender just like just get rainbow flicked by Jed Wallace.
Yeah.
Just like see
So
ya.
what, rating out of 10?
9, yeah.
9 out of 10. We'll move on to Connor Mahoney, who again, after lockdown, he stepped up when a couple of the other players dropped off a little bit, and he is exciting. Connor, I think if he's given some confidence, if he's given a run in the team, if it's hard because Millwall with wingers and notoriously hard on wingers that don't put their foot in, that don't challenge and don't try all out, and sometimes Connor's guilty of that. Sometimes he doesn't quite do that. But
he doesn't go for the ball sometimes.
No, but I think the fact that we've had no fans in the ground has actually helped his game because it's someone, you can see that he does listen. He does get his head down when fans get on him, and that's going to happen at Millwall. And I think that without the fans, he's been able to play his game, and he's really stepped up. Looked really good attacking wise. He's got a great shot on him. He's composed when it comes to the final third, and if he can take that step up next year and balance the team with Jed on the other side, we really will be an attacking threat. And could you just imagine, with either Matt Smith and Troy Parrott, with Jed and Connor playing like at their top level, we really will be a team to beat next year. And for me, Connor Mahoney, 7 out of 10. You?
Didn't play actually that much, but was it the game against Luton where he just dominated?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, the home game.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
So
I agree with George. Harris didn't give him enough chance.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 for. Then we'll go to Yuri Skalak. 5 out of 10. Next.
6 out of 10.
Moving on. I've got nothing else to say about Yuri at all. Matt Smith. For me, underrated, actually. Underrated in the Championship. Very solid. Does what Matt Smith does. He knows where the back of the net is. The difficulty with Matt Smith is you have a choice. Yeah. If you want your team to press high, you can't have Matt Smith in the team. If you want your team to play balls into the box, then Matt Smith needs to be in your team. Yeah. If you want the player to hold the ball up and playing around him, play down the channels, then Matt Smith can be in your team. Yeah. What we have too often is sometimes we play Matt Smith and then try and press. It doesn't work that way. You can't do that. You can't expect him. It's not part of his game. In the air, he's the best in the Championship without a doubt. I think that he's the best header of the ball. Yeah. Maybe Jake Cooper.
Yeah, Jake Cooper is.
But I think he's the best header of the ball in the Championship, and he's scored important goals, like the 93rd minute winner against Charlton. What happened?
Favourite game of the season.
What happened to Charlton this year?
Did they get relegated?
I think they might get relegated. And imagine. And I remember seeing one of their YouTubers, and he went, this is 3 points that will keep Millwall win the Championship. And that didn't work very well, did it? Because it was 3 points that didn't keep you in the Championship. But League One football.
Was it?
Yeah. So League One football for Charlton, maybe, unless they go out of business. And I hope they don't, because obviously when we play them, it's a guaranteed 3 points. So Matt Smith, for me, obviously he got the hat-trick against Forest, although he nicked one off Jason Malumbe.
I also game of the season for Charlton as well, because...
Was that your game of the season?
Yeah, because him in the last minute, I don't think I saw him go up for the header. Yeah. But I saw the goal going, and I remember celebrating, and I was so happy that we had scored in one of the last minutes, and it was just... What the heck of a Millwall player just jumping up in the last minute and scoring a header.
Broken their heart.
Except from Jake Cooper.
You're never gone.
Except from Jake Cooper, he's probably the best header of the ball in Millwall.
Yeah, George. A lot of people didn't rate Matt, but scoring goals wins fans over at the end of the day, and he done that really well. So for me, 8 out of 10 for Matt Smith. For your rating?
I'll give him an 8 too.
8 out of 10 for Matt Smith. Moving on, we've got 2 more players to rate. We've got Tom Bradshaw and Mason Bennett. Hopefully we bring Mason Bennett in, but we'll start with Tom Bradshaw first. Tom Bradshaw is a really difficult one because he's come back from injury. Didn't really get a start in the team. He plays up front on his own a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But what I felt that when he came into the team was that he's really clinical, but he seems shot of confidence at the moment, and he far too often isn't taking his chances. And it was a disappointing season for Tom, and I'm sure he would say that. And I hope that, you know, Troy Parrott coming in with more competition for places. I forgot we got another player otherwise that I've not mentioned, but. For me, just Tom was a bit of a disappointment. I think he works hard. I think but then Gregory worked hard, and just I just didn't see what Tom brought to the team a lot this year. For me, probably one of our weakest players week in, week out, and he gets a 6 out of 10 for me.
Well, the thing about Bradshaw is that he can score goals, but he didn't show it this season. He didn't show it, and I didn't like that. And he just looked shot for confidence and like nothing out of him.
Not good enough. What are you going to give him?
I'll give him a 6.
6 out of 10.
Nearly a 5, but I'm going to give him a 6.
So we'll do. I forgot John Daddy Budvarson. So I will quickly do. We'll do John Daddy Budvarson, then we'll do Mason Bennett. John Daddy Budvarson is going to get a 5 from me. Purely because of the miss at Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh, that would have got us in the playoffs
another game of that. But you cannot, as a striker, you know, we're playing at Hillsborough. We very rarely ever get a result up there. He's through on goal, and he not only does he miss, but he nearly hits the flipping top of the roof in the cop behind at Hillsborough, which is massive. And for me, it was unforgivable. He did do reasonably well at the end of the season. I think he does work well, and he's obviously an international, but that miss at Sheffield Wednesday really did kill me. You know, driving home from that game was really tough because we deserved the 3 points there, and we didn't get it. And again, it's those a bit throughout the season Ipswich for all along. Nick, you need your head testing because obviously that tractor's bouncing your head about. You didn't even rule League One last year. But for me, John Daly Budvarson, that miss at Sheffield Wednesday, and he got a 6. Just quickly give him a rating.
I don't know, I would have scored it, so I'll give him a 6 too.
Yeah, you would have scored it, to be fair. Clinical.
Put me on the pitch instead.
Yeah, Zach's clinical going through on goal.
And one-on-ones are my specialty.
They are. Mason Bennett, the last person we're going to rate. For me, again, revelation. Absolute, the pace, power, the determination that he got on the ball. Tom's still asking us to change it to the drive home with Zach and TT.
Yes, please.
I'm doing the driving. Unbelievable.
Come on.
This is
I'm the star of the show.
You are. Well, obviously you're the star of the show and the looks. The star of the show. I'll do the driving. I might as well just drive and let him talk, to be fair. But so Mason Bennett, I think he's been really good. I'd really love to sign him. Obviously we allowed his contract to go. If he drives, then there's no need for me at all, is there? I'll just be in the back, just sitting down on my own. Oh my God!
I love the people that comment. Thank you so much for commenting, all of you.
Unbelievable. It's what you do, isn't it?
The laughing emojis. It's just Millwall is a club for
banter.
Yeah, banter.
Yeah, I know. Looks. When he drives, to be fair, I'll have a few beers, so it won't be too bad. But so Mason Bennett, hopefully we sign him. I know that we allowed the 500,000 thing, but I think that's just given the current market. He's obviously not going to be welcome back at Derby, given the fact that he drove past it saying some quite unsavoury things. But Mason Bennett for me, 8 out of 10. I thought that he really did change our attacking prowess and attacking threat when he was on the pitch, and we really missed him. You know, as soon as he went off in that QPR game, you knew it was going to fall apart, and it did. But for you, what are you going to give Mason Bennett?
He did play right, so I'll give him a 7. But he said I'm serious as well.
I know he is. I know, Tom. Yeah, I'm ignoring him. So the thing that I can take most out of that season was the fact I loved the yellow away kit. I thought it was an excellent, one of the best ones we've had for a long time.
I think I told Mum that don't get that kit dirty or Layla because that is one of Dad's favourite Millwall kits.
Yeah,
and
I really do like it.
It is a really nice Millwall kit as well because
we'll take out
we look like bananas.
We've done well in it. You know, our away form was decent this year. You know, I remember the Pierce mad claps. Obviously, we're going to remember coronavirus and how it messed all of our lives up. But the fact that we kept going and we fought for the playoffs, you know, only finishing 2 points away from it.
Yeah.
The low point for me was the Luton first half. I thought, you know, I felt really low. I felt I was disenfranchised. I didn't know where our team was going. And things needed to change. And it was gutting to see Harris
Yeah, he just stepped down.
Yeah, but it was gutting to see him
right.
get that from the fans.
Yeah.
He probably deserved it, if I'm honest, because we looked to team shots a bit.
Yeah, he had to step down. Otherwise, our team would have nearly got relegated. But Gary Rowett stepped up and. Well, Adam Barrett was in for a few games and we played well under him. And I said to Dad, make him our manager.
No, Adam Barrett. And obviously we lost Callum Davidson. And I think that was a big thing. You know, he got up to St Johnstone. Obviously Danny McNamara and Ola Ofe, I think, has also joined him up there. So they're going to start hitting it off in the SPL, although their game's was off today because of also the coronavirus. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we go in next season. It's weird because, you know, you look to last season to see how you can go to the next one, and the last game against Huddersfield, obviously Huddersfield was shot to bits, had nothing to play for, but at times our football was absolutely excellent.
The fact that they were in the Premier League at some point 3 years ago, I think it was, or 2 years ago, but the fact that they were like, Millwall have never been in the Premier League. Huddersfield have been in the Premier League and we smashed them.
True.
There is no...
But the Premier League, there was football before the Premier League.
I know, but it's just...
What was it called?
The top flight.
The top flight, Division 1, yeah.
We were in the top flight, but I've never seen... I've never seen Millwall in the top league.
No, not
top
yet.
Division.
So now we'll talk about next year. Hopefully that will be the year where we can push to the playoffs. You look at the teams in the playoffs.
Come on, Gary.
You look at the team in the Championship, and there's never going to be a better chance. George, I agree with you. You know, it's all about getting a good start, starting well, getting the confidence going. The players in the team that rely heavily on confidence, like we were talking about with Conor Mahoney. If we can hit the ground running, like we needed to do after the coronavirus break, but if we can hit the ground running, get fans back in there, however many we can, and we haven't got season tickets at the moment. I didn't get them because I didn't know whether we were going to have football next year, and now I find that we might not even get to go. All of you petition the club to make sure we get.
It would be the at home with TT and Zach.
No, I wouldn't do it because I'd be so annoyed at the club not letting me in.
Yeah, we would.
We've had season tickets since he was a baby, so it will be very disappointing if we don't get to go in it. Signings wise, I'd definitely bring Bennett back. I'd like to bring Malumbe back.
Yeah, Malumbe back.
Obviously, Troy Parrott to me. There's been talk about.
Is he a striker?
Yeah, he is a striker.
Oh, is it? I thought he was a defender.
Obviously, Tottenham, and the last Tottenham striker that we got didn't turn out to be too bad, did he? So,
Harry Kane.
So obviously Harry Kane being one of our own.
We made him a good player.
Of course, everyone that comes to the Den has made a better player. But Harry Kane said we made him a man, and I think that's pretty much what needs to happen with Troy Parrott. Yeah. There was talk about his attitude, and that's why Jose didn't really rate him or didn't really give him much game time. That won't be allowed to happen in our dressing room. He won't be allowed to get away with that because not from the manager. You know, the players discipline themselves. The players look after themselves, and they will be the ones to ensure that he's going to give it his all and learn to play. I know Jason Malumbe recommended the club to us, you know, and he pushed the move to come to Millwall. So that's all encouraging for the future. And if, like I said, if you can if we have a clinical player up front, there's no reason why we can't.
I think we should sign one of the better Championship strikers as well.
Yeah, but we're not going to have the money for that. Millwall are a team that we can finish first or 24th. There's
very true. Millwall have the quality to finish first, but if we don't play well, we can finish 24th.
Yeah.
And
we won't.
Like when we were League One. Remember that, and we went to the playoff finals, but that's irrelevant. When Neil Harris stepped in, the year after he stepped in the season before, we got to the playoff finals. We got through.
And let's hope if we get to the playoffs this year.
Rowett, please do that for us.
Exactly.
Please. I want to see Millwall in the top division.
I think everyone wants. I think even the Premiership want to see Millwall in the top division. Yeah. But we fans.
It'll be amazing seeing Man City at the Den.
I would hate to have got to Wembley this year. Seeing the Fulham Brentford playoff final was an absolute bore draw anyway. But it was. If we got to Wembley, we'd have to have fans there because I'd absolutely hate it.
Yeah,
I agree.
But Millwall, Wembley is their home. So, if we get to Wembley, we mostly win.
No, I don't think we do.
No, I think when Millwall are under pressure, we step up.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
Millwall's club.
In terms of strengthening going forward, I definitely think that we, like you said, we do need a left wing back, someone with a bit more pace. We probably
Just a little bit. Someone like Murray Wallace, but just with a lot more pace.
Yeah, if we don't get Bennett, we definitely need another left winger to bring in. We need to get rid of Scalak, get him off at Atvik because he's
just sell him for a bit.
Got no time for him.
Yeah.
I know that he done reasonably well in the last game of the season, but for me, he's just
he isn't.
He's not cut the mustard.
Like for Millwall as a club, he's not good enough.
Yeah, I don't think he's good enough.
He doesn't have the passion for Millwall.
No. And I think if we do that, if we get another, I think we need another striker because and maybe either Tom or Jod Daddy may well leave.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think we've got obviously we need to back up for Bart.
Yeah, but Bart, if he gets injured, we will struggle.
Yeah, but
because Bart's so good.
He is. But if we're looking at young players coming into the team from obviously. We've got a couple of players that are on the brink. You know, Brown can play right wing back. We've got Junior Tienza who has the chance to break in probably this year. He might got a little bit like Billy got last year, a little bit more time. He's younger than Billy, but
wait, is that the one that I saw at the pre-season that had lightning bolt pace?
Yeah, he has absolutely lightning bolt pace.
Yeah, that was really good. He looked really good when I saw it. He was running on the ball. He was like that. Down the wing.
I think Fielding only signed for the year, as far as I remember. I think it was only a year contract. So both him and obviously Steele went back. So I'm pretty sure Fielding and Steele have left. So we do need a backup for Bart. But
yeah, Sanford is
too young.
His weight. No,
it's not really done it for me.
But
anyway, should we leave it there?
Yeah,
we've been going for 41 minutes.
Thank you for everyone that's watched the whole 41 minutes, if anyone has.
Has anyone? I don't know. George might have done. I think, and Hyper, if he's still here, they may well have done. But
hopefully
you've enjoyed it.
People haven't got bored and went to sleep as well.
Well, maybe listening to you, they might have done.
Alright. Subscribe to the Zach and TT Dravo.
The Zach and TT show. So obviously we're going to do the championship review. We're going to break down each individual championship team.
Yeah, I think that'll be a fun one as well.
On Tuesday at 18:30. But for now, we're going to leave it. Finished 8th in the championship, which is not bad. 2 points behind the playoffs. You've got to love that. Overall, we're 7.
Not sorry for ruining our season of the playoffs.
Move on. It's time to move on. This season is done. We're now looking forward to next season where we are going
2020 to 2021. Hopefully Corona will be washed up.
Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. No one likes us.
We do not care.